Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to the Introvert Dating Success Podcast, courtesy of IntrovertDatingSuccess.com. I'm your host, Harry Wilmington. I hope you're listening to this podcast or watching the video. And if you're watching the video, you may notice my background's a little bit different. I am currently on a cross-country road trip where I'm touring the entire United States, driving around in my Prius, just going from various city to see things because I've just always wanted to do that. I wanted to talk to you today about the idea of the art of doing nothing. Now, as an introvert, I think you're going to like what I have to say today because you've probably been taught as a guy that in order to attract a woman and then keep her interest, you need to constantly be doing and doing and doing. And in the last podcast, I actually talked about how sometimes you need to not do so much and let women come to you to pursue you. But I really wanted to delve more into the concept of nothingness because, like I said, you may be out there now trying to do a whole lot of stuff, but there are several instances where it's actually more beneficial to you and your shot at getting this woman that you want to get to just kind of lay back, be chill, and do absolutely nothing. And I want to talk about that today. As always, for more of these podcasts, you can go to IntrovertDatingSuccess.com to see the videos and download the shows. We're also available on iTunes. Go to the website if you're looking for some one-on-one coaching to really get you out of a tough spot or to once and for all have somebody guide you through your dating hangups and misconceptions and really figure out how to actually get the women you want. I offer one-on-one coaching. We have several packages that could be helpful to you. Just go to IntrovertDatingSuccess.com and click on the tab that says coaching. Also, I have some great programs there that can benefit your life as well. There's a smart digital dating program, which teaches you how to do digital dating both on the phone and online to really be able to start dating more girls by have access to more and learning what to do, say, how to set up your profile, etc. And of course, my top secret dating blueprint teaches you how to go from meeting a girl to dating her, taking her out, and doing all the right things so that way she's ready to be your girlfriend within the span of like 3 months. So check those programs out. Lastly, if you have any questions you want answered on one of these shows, you can write to me by going to IntrovertDatingSuccess.com and clicking on the contact tab. Okay, so let's get into this idea of nothingness. I've put together 8 simple points of time where it is perfectly okay to not only do nothing, but it's going to actually cause her attraction to increase in you, or at the very least, she'll gain more respect for you. Because if you're constantly going at a woman like time and time again, her feelings for you are going to burn out quickly. Like I've experienced this where like you're hitting up a girl every day, you're trying to see her nonstop, and then it goes from her having these strong feelings for you to suddenly like she doesn't want to pick up the calls anymore. She's giving you the let's just be friends speech, and then you don't get to see her anymore, and you're like, what happened? And the problem was probably you were doing too much. And as a guy, we are like trained to be on go because our whole life is about getting to the next goal and trying to figure out how to get money and how to live a lifestyle and how to set up things for when you do get a girlfriend and she wants you to support her and stuff like that. So be mindful of that as a guy, you are already set for go. But sometimes women need a little more time to themselves and a little more time away from you to really kind of like gather their thoughts, think about you more, realize how much they want you in their lives, and then come to you, okay? So these are just a few things I wrote down, or typed on my phone rather. So these are some great times to just kind of like relax and do nothing. The first one is making a point not to call a woman right after a date. A lot of guys, they have a date, and then as soon as they drop her off, they're thinking, man, I gotta stay in her face, so I'm gonna keep calling her and keep texting her. And this does not give her time to sit back, really think about how good of a time she had with you, and then play that over in her head, talk to her girlfriends about you, etc. You need to give her that time to miss your presence because she needs to be able to appreciate you when you're around her, and she can't do that if you're nonstop contacting her beyond just the date, okay? So it's perfectly fine to lay back. I personally have a standard rule where I wait a minimum of 4 days after each date to call the woman to ask her for another date. And I do this for 2 reasons. One, because I want her to have that time to be like, I had such a good time with Harry, and man, is he gonna call me again? Like, I think, does he like me? I need that time for her to think and wonder if I'm gonna call her again. Because believe it or not, that anxiousness and that wondering is what's going to keep you on her mind, which is going to make her feel as though she must be liking you a lot, because otherwise, why would she keep thinking about you, okay? And then the second reason is to test her interest level. Because if you wait 4 days and a girl has really, really high interest in you, chances are she's going to start texting you that same night, the next day, the day after, etc. But before that 4 days even hits, you'll find that she's texting you. She's calling you up. And if she's chasing you, she can't be replacing you, right? Okay, so from now on, when you go on a date, you have a good time, make it a point not to contact her. Leave it a minimum of 4 days before you decide to reach out to her again. I promise you, if she likes you, she will accept the date and not be mad at you that you waited, all right? Another time to do nothing is when she texts you out the blue, do not text her back right away, okay? As much as a woman is going to want to contact you to be able to interact with you, there's also a part of her that's kind of hoping that you're doing other stuff, because women also don't like guys that are readily available all the time, because it makes them look like they have nothing else going on, or worse, that they're actually just sitting by their phone waiting for her to text or call. And that's not a really good impression for a woman to have of you, okay? Because you need to be a man of purpose. You need to be a man that's out doing things, and it's like trying to build their dream and earn money and stuff like that. And she's not going to get that impression if you're always ready at your phone to answer back to her, okay? So what I typically tell guys is, if you're used to if you always feel like you have to text her back, start by doing this exercise. The next time you go on a date, you have a good time, and then you leave or whatever, and you're waiting to call her, and she texts you. Wait a minimum of 20 minutes before you text her back, okay? Just to give yourself the understanding and feeling that, okay, if you wait more than 5 minutes to text her back, she's not gonna be mad. And if she is, the good thing about not texting a woman back right away is it allows you to test for her temperaments. If you wait 20 or 30 minutes to text her back and then she's like, oh, why didn't you text me back right away? You know you've got a woman on your hands that is a little needy and you probably need to get out. But I've literally had it where a girl will text me and I'll wait till like 2 days later to respond back. And then she'll be like, oh, great to hear from you. Oh my God, we're gonna go out. So don't think that just because you're not texting her back right away that it means that she's gonna be mad at you. If anything, it's only going to pique her curiosity as to why you weren't able to do that. And it's gonna make her think that, oh man, I need to work a lot harder in order for him to wanna contact you back right away. Another time to do nothing, okay? Let's say you've been dating a girl for like 2 or 3 months. At that point, if you've been doing all the right things, a woman's going to start to wonder what you guys are and if this is actually a relationship, okay? That said, you should never, ever be the one that brings up the topic of being in a relationship. Because what's gonna happen is this: you're gonna bring it up, and most likely, if she hasn't discussed or started talking about the idea of you being in a couple with her, it means that she's not yet at that place where she's ready. Guys tend to fall in love a lot faster than women do, because we see a girl and we're automatically thinking about, okay, I can see her in my future with kids and where we're gonna live and etc. But women need to take more time to really figure you out. And this is nothing against you, because as far as you know, you're a great guy. But like, I'm 37, okay? There are women that are my age that have gone through a slew of dating experiences, some that are horrific. You know, they have guys that they meet that initially are, you know, they seem like they're good guys and they're truthful, and then all of a sudden it finds out they're lying. They had 5, 6 kids and they had like a bunch of women behind them. And so because of that, they tend to really take their time finding out what a guy is actually about, okay? So all that said, it usually only takes 2.5 to 3 months. So if you're a guy that up to this point has been like, after 4 dates, you're like, well, are we boyfriend or girlfriend? What's going on? You're going too fast. My motto is this: if you're asking her on a date and she says yes, you're good. If you've been dating a girl for 2 months and you're like, oh my gosh, I think she should be my girlfriend, what's going on? Should I ask her to how does she really feel about me? How she feels is like this: you're asking her out, she's saying yes, you're good, okay? Stay in that pocket of asking her out and waiting for her to say yes. If at any point she says no or starts flaking, then you know that this isn't building towards a relationship. But assuming you're doing the right things, she is going to eventually bring up the topic if you just lay back and do nothing, okay? Because if you're doing nothing, she's gonna wonder why you're not bringing it up. And women are more relationship focused, at least they're supposed to be. Anytime a guy is like focusing hard on a relationship, it usually ends up blowing up in his face. So Your job is to focus on fun, taking her out, having a good time, and her job is to figure out the pace at which this is going to become a relationship, okay? Lay back. It's coming. As long as she's going out with you, you're fine. Another good time to do nothing. This is where a lot of people in the industry talk about the whole thing of no contact after a breakup. Let's say she breaks up with you for some reason. The worst thing you can do when a woman breaks up with you is to start blowing up her phone, blowing up her email, and trying to contact her and try to convince her and negotiate with her why she should stay with you, okay? Because that is not going to be helpful to her image of you. If anything, it's going to make her feel like, A, you're disrespecting her boundaries, and also you were, in fact, a very, very needy guy, and it's good that she got out now, okay? I found in my practice in life that if she breaks up with you, and, you hit her back with something like, okay, well, I don't agree with it, but, whatever it is, and just kind of like go away. The fact that you're not like 98% of the guys she's dumped that are trying to like crawl back to her and beg for her forgiveness and, send her all these types of various gifts and things to be able to try to convince her, whatever like that. It's going to give her time to reminisce and then start really thinking about what she gave up and if it's worth it. And you have a better shot of getting back at the woman if you are just laying back, doing nothing, moving on with your life, and letting her feel that impact, okay? So, she breaks up with you. Don't think you gotta do a lot of stuff, okay? If anything, respect her boundaries and act like it really truly is like the end of the line. And I've had it happen more than enough times where like I do that and like anywhere between like a week to like 3 months later, girls knocking on my door again saying, hey, so can we talk? Like, what's going on? I wanna be with you still. All right. Let's see. Okay, another time that it's good to do nothing. I don't want you to think that you have to respond to every single thing a woman says. It truly is one of those things where the less you say, the better, and the more you're talking, the more of a chance you have of saying something that's going to make her mad. Now, this doesn't mean you need to hold your tongue or anything like that, but if she makes like a random offhanded comment, like let's say you're walking to the grocery store and she sees some baby and she's like, oh, that's such an ugly baby. You might be a guy that like thinks every baby in the world is cute. So you don't agree with this opinion. But in the moment, is there a need for you to say anything? Not really. If that's how she feels, it's whatever. So you don't have to feel as though like just because she says something to you, you have to always come back with a response. In fact, sometimes I've found that not responding is usually a stronger point to do and a stronger way to make a case against something or to position yourself in a way that makes you look like a stronger person, okay? And to continue with that train of thought is you don't have to speak every time somebody says, she says an opinion or a fact, quote unquote, that she's getting wrong that you want to correct. I think a lot of times guys get in trouble because women will say stuff sometimes, and as a guy wanting to be right, we want to correct her, or we want to say, well, your opinion is actually invalid because X, Y, and Z, or this fact is right because X, Y, and Z, okay? And because guys, when they communicate with each other, we're thinking we want to spit facts at each other. And if I get a fact wrong, I need you to tell me that the fact's wrong and then why, so we can debate this thing and then come to some understanding, whatever that's that. Women don't really communicate to be right or wrong. They communicate for the connection and the interaction that goes with it, okay? So if every time she spits an opinion or fact out and you're there to try to correct her about it, now it becomes a negative interaction. And the more negative interaction she has with you, the better of a chance there's gonna be that she's going to start losing attraction, okay? So understand, as much as you wanna be right in some cases, it's not a have to. Like, if she states an opinion and then you try to state an opposing opinion, what did you gain from that? Like, now that's not to say it's not cool to like sometimes have debates with her or like, spit back and forth, but just guys get so serious about how right they have to be. And sometimes an opinion is a thing that nobody has to be right or wrong. It can just be how you feel about some stuff. So for example, if I feel some kind of way about a certain politician and my girl feels the opposite way, why debate that? Like, what is the debate in me trying to prove my viewpoints to her how's that going to help the relationship? Okay, if it's not something that's going to help the relationship or keep it on a positive angle, why feel the need to have to like debate and argue and have her crying and then, you're start calling her stupid and dumb for her opinion, and next thing you know, you guys are fighting over something that came from nothing. And I'm of the thought that like, hey, sometimes I don't have to agree with what this person's saying, but I also don't have to feel the need to start a conversation about it. I can just let them have that thought and then move on to something else that's more pleasant to talk about. And then lastly, there's going to be times where, let's say you're dating a girl and you guys are talking about something and a fight blows up, okay? And this is going to happen in any relationship where inevitably there's going to be, if not a fight, a disagreement of some kind, okay? Now, you might be dating a woman that came from a family that likes to yell at people when they start getting in fights, stuff like that. And so if you get into one of those instances, if you're dating that kind of girl where she's starting fights with you and she's like starting to yell like, you, this is not blah, blah, you mother effer and blah, blah, this is whatever. This is the part where I say it's best to just disengage. You could choose to like yell back and fight and argue and scratch and claw your way to, whatever the conclusion the fight's supposed to be at. But I've also found that sometimes the strongest point you can take in a fight is to just say, you know what? I'm not going to do this. I'm willing to discuss this with you, but I'm not going to yell. So whenever you're ready to discuss this on a level that we can just kind of sit down and talk, hit me up, but I'm out. And then I go, because I'm not a yeller, I'm not a screamer, and I do believe that when disagreements happen, it's the result simply of two people not knowing where the other person's coming from or why. And I think those are valid discussions to have. So I'm willing to sit down with the woman and talk about what these differences are or why she feels a certain way or what's caused it, what it is that either I did that's hurting her feelings or what she perceives that I did or whatever. But I'm not willing to yell and I'm not willing to curse somebody out and have myself cursed at. So those are the moments when I say, you know what? I'm gonna lay back, we'll do nothing. And when she's ready to be a calm person, we can talk about this rationally. Okay? So as you can see, there are definitely times where when you do nothing, you're gonna actually benefit yourself more so than if you were just trying to go at, prove a point, or do whatever, okay? So keep that in mind because this is the best part of being an introvert is that you don't really want to do a whole lot anyway. You want to go on a date, have a good time, and then go home and be alone and do nothing, okay? When you're with a girl, you want to be able to have a good time because as introverts, we do like hanging out with people that we're dating, that we're close to, and we want them around our circle a little bit longer than we would other people. But that said, you don't want that energy to be a negative energy because then you're hanging with somebody that's also draining your energy even more so, okay? And a lot of that's your fault because you're thinking during these interactions, you got to do a whole lot, or when you're not in her presence, you got to be doing stuff to be in her face. And that's not really your fallback position. Like as an introvert, you're kind of cool, just like go out for a couple of hours, have fun, and then go home and chill. And that's actually the perfect balance that you need to be able to attract more women, okay? So don't think you got to do the extroverted thing of like constantly being out there and I got to talk to her for X amount of hours. And I got to take her on like 17-hour dates and I got to like, constantly be texting her like, no. Don't do any of that. You're an introvert. You have a certain way of operating and that way of operating is actually going to benefit you greatly, okay? So do your thing, man. And that is to do nothing. All right. Thank you for tuning into this podcast and video show. Like I said, for more of these, you can go to introvertdatingsuccess.com. Go there now to check out the one-on-one coaching that I offer. There are different packages there that you can go through to whichever one benefits you best. You can check that out. Check out the programs, Smart Digital Dating, which is the online dating and phone app dating program. And it's based on my years of doing this stuff because I will be able to teach you in these programs how to go from like getting 0 dates on these platforms to having at least 4 or 5 dates a week. Like it got to that point. And it's very easy to do if you know the exact steps to do, if you know the right profile to put up, if you know what to say to these women when you're messaging them and how to ask them out in the right way. And so just check it out. Also go there to see my other program, the Top Secret Dating Blueprint. If you've ever wondered what the actual steps are to be able to go from meeting a girl like at a party or online or whatever to asking her out to being able to get on a date, this is the program that's going to give you the confidence you need to be able to boldly ask women out and to know what to do to be able to get her to the point where she's coming to you saying, hey, what are we? Are we going out? Okay, so check those out at the website. And if you have any questions you want answered on this particular show, you can write to me at the website by going to introvertdatingsuccess.com and clicking on the contact tab. I'm HarryWilmington, and I will catch you guys on the next show. I'm out. Peace.